Okay, I'm not sure, but I'm hoping this is recording. Alexander just got back from a wildfire in Idaho, and I would like to get some fire tales. For my second practice run at YouTubing for the children. So, let's see if we can do this.
It's in your own mind kind of doing that, and that's where I am. But I'm so grateful that, like, we have 3 out of 4 of you guys that can see it clearly.
What do you got
Picture
there?
your fire map.
Documenting?
Been looking at that map all week.
It's a little bit.
Diva. Oh,
Division A.
Division A.
Um,
So what's that, Idaho?
yeah.
That's what it looked like on day 1.
And it goes clear down here now.
That's what it looked like.
The fire?
Yeah.
Yep. On day 1, it was like 100 acres when they got there, and now it's 5,000 acres and something.
What is it right now?
Out.
Alright, you're taking the SWAT take, right?
Yeah.
Hit the, I'm like, okay, so we were over here, spiked out this spot,
Yeah.
and there was slop over.
I didn't know where you were spiked, but I knew it was on the right side of the map I was looking at.
There's slop over right here,
Yeah.
so there's a ridge line,
Yeah.
and little spots had flown over and torched out all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we had spiked out on this side, and our assignment was to control all of this.
Yeah.
And Mike assigned me to take the SWAT down there. So I had control of all, you know, it's like hard to keep track of your kids in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Out of forest and fire and 10 wild ass dudes, and then I'm in charge of keeping them all rounded up and on task.
Yeah.
So
Kind of like herding.
kind of stressful.
Yeah.
And like I don't have a lot of me controlling the SWAT experience at all. That's kind of one of my first times, especially on a big fire like this.
Yeah.
So I controlled the whole squadron. And so we were down on this little hillside down here, and the squads were broken up. So 2 was on like down on some spots, and then I have squad 1 fighting an entire spot myself. And so we're on this spot, and like all day we're digging these little, like all this stuff had burned out through the trees. And this fire was weird because the trees there have this weird like seed on them. So the tree starts on fire, and the seeds heat up and then shoot out fireballs in all directions. So what would happen is they would
Nature's
go,
fireworks.
shoot out like that, and then those would get into the grass and then go,
And then start
and
new
then start
stuff.
2 new
Oh,
trees, and those would go.
wow.
So every time we had to fight, we'd try to cut off torching before, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
a chain effect. It would start
You
getting
want
more
to
and
stop
more.
it before it gets to the fire
Yeah.
part.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was like a flat area where that had happened like over and over. So we're all day we're digging line around these little spots that are creeping through the grass. And then every once in a while we'd lose one. We'd like run away and wait. And like then shoot all the little fireballs, and we come back in and try to get all the little fireballs, and it started, you know, like punky logs. They're all shredded up.
Yeah.
So it started like a punky log on fire, and it was just like all day, just getting hit with smoke, and our guys were getting frustrated trying to like beat these torches and everything, but we didn't have any helicopters because they were all getting used. Because the fire was just, when we showed up, it was like the apocalypse. There was just columns in all directions,
I saw how big it was.
and so there were just bucket drops all day. There were like 6 helicopters on that fire, just all day.
They were like tan.
Yeah, well, some,
So-
we had a yellow and black one, we had a red, white, and blue one, we had all these different helicopters, and we couldn't get one, and I've never called in a helicopter before to bomb.
Yeah.
And usually you start with like a light, you know, they assign you a light, whoa, and you drop a little bucket of 300 gallons, and so I'm leading the crew, or I'm leading the squad, and, you know, I've been telling them what to do all day, and all of a sudden they're like, Zoolander! Yeah, go ahead. They're like, heavy coming your way. I was like, what? And they're like, pick up the heavy. And I hear over the hill. It makes this terrifying noise when they come in because it's, I don't know if you heard me telling her, but it's the size of 2 of your houses.
Yeah. Wow.
The
Huge,
helicopter.
carries 2,200 gallons.
Wow.
So it's coming up over the hill. There's a ridge line up there, and they tell me, Zoolander, take this heavy. No one has use for it. I was like, I'm taking your Foxtrot, copy. And I get in there, and all my dudes are in there, and this heavy comes in. He's like 749, Salt Lake.
That's me.
749, Salt Lake 1, Foxtrot. That's me.
Yeah.
You know. He's like, yeah, where do you want this? I'm like, there's just this big flat area. I've never called one in before. I'm like, everybody clear the area! Like, getting my squad out of there, because
Yeah, you get jumped on.
2,200 gallons is a lot of water.
Yeah.
You'll kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he's coming over the hill. And they're just like,
Where do
taking
you want it?
Zoolander. I've never taken a helicopter, ever. And they usually start you with a little one.
Yeah. So you can be like, oh,
Yeah, and you
that's
move
one
up,
over
you get a
there,
medium,
whatever.
and then you go to the heavy
It's like,
tankers
no, this is
in a
gonna be
couple of years.
trencher. You
It
gotta
was
be
like-
ready.
So I'm just like, everybody clear out! You guys over there! You guys over here! My saws are all running out of the area. Like, so you have this huge canopy and all these snags, and when these things hit, it knocks all the snags down and parts of trees fall
Yeah.
off. I mean, it's like
So
a
it's
bomb
dangerous.
dropping.
Wow.
So I'm like, saws over there! You guys up the hill! And he comes in, and he's orbiting up here.
Wow.
And I just
And it's
real
your call?
quick, yeah, real quick, I tie, because usually you have like a panel or a giant X that you put down
Right.
to show them where to hit. I
Right.
didn't have anything, so I just got my flagging. We had
Yeah.
like pink flagging, like color of
Yeah.
the shirt. Just got a bunch of it and tied like 3 strands to the
Area
the-
you want.
to my tool,
Oh yeah.
and I run out right into the middle of where I want him to hit, and I just go like this. And he goes, "Oh, I see you down there." He's like, "All right, clear out," and he does one more orbit. And
So
he
you
comes
can run
back
away?
here, yeah. And I go running out just outside the line, like 30.
Wow.
It was so cool, like probably 30 feet away from the center where he's dropping.
Holy crap.
And all my guys are just amped because you never get to be that close to a heavy. And I have them lined up just perfect
Yeah.
to the very edge of where they can be. And that sucker comes back around, and they make this noise when they're getting ready to drop their stuff because they make
Yeah.
a hard turn.
Yeah.
And then it goes, and then it starts coming back towards you. And then just these doors, they have these big trap doors, like big tanker doors that open like that.
Yeah.
And it just goes,
Wow.
2,000 gallons.
Wow.
Bam! And it was just right next to it. It looked like it was going to hit us.
Like, did you get
And all my
wet?
dudes are like getting down.
Did you
And
get
That's
yeah,
so
we
cool.
got, like, it was hitting us with mist. The
Like
guys are up
spray.
on the hill, like, and he just bombed the shit. We had been fighting this thing all day.
Yeah, the
Just-
little
just
trying
trying
to
to get
beat the
around.
firecrackers
Yeah,
and
and
keep the
it just, all these trees fell over, made this huge noise, like this
Yeah.
big booming noise.
wow.
And then I'm like, 749, Salt Lake 1 Foxtrot, thanks a lot, that helped a lot. He's like, oh, I got 2 more. And I'm like, oh, everyone had kind of started going back in. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, clear out. And he comes back again, boom, he hit it 3 times.
Yeah.
So he divided his load and he hit like
Yeah.
3 different spots in
So
this
this
one
was
little
near
patch.
where you were camped?
Kind of, yeah. Well, that one was really near to where we camped, but
Yeah.
it was down below.
Yeah.
But so he hit 3 times. And then he came back with another load, and I got to do it again, wave my flag, and bomb
Wow.
the shit out of it. And then the guys on the ridge were like, "Hey, it's on the ridge. We need water on the ridge." I'm like, 749, we're gonna have you hit the ridge. It's like, all right, I'll be back. And they have pilot voices, like they'll have this pilot voice, like, Roger, I'll be right back. Load and return. Copy.
Sort of like in the movie Airplane where he's like, and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, or like the games we play that are like,
Yeah.
they really sound like that. And so he's like, copy, load and return. And, you know, we're like, this is so cool. We're so amped. All my guys were just like, had this look on their face like, ah, they're all screaming and stuff. Like, I can't believe this is going on. And he comes back and I'm like, yeah, we wanna hit that ridge. And he's like, show me the direction. And I go over there with my flag and I'm like pointing like the direction I want him to hit the ridge. And then my crew boss gets on and he goes, Zoolander, he's not hitting that ridge, is he? I said, yeah. And he goes, we're on that ridge right now. I was like, oh, this is my crew boss.
Yeah.
I was like, 749, hold, 749, hold, orbit one more time. I need to get my crew off. He's like, and he made a little maneuver. He's about to drop.
Yeah.
I was like, orbit one more time. I gotta make sure my guy's out there. Copy. You know, he goes around
Wow.
again. And I hear Jesse, all right, we're off the ridge. I'm like,
Just
749, you
don't
cleared to drop. And he just comes back and just goes up the side of the ridge. And it was
Yeah.
all muddy because the fire had burned everything out.
Yeah.
And the whole ridge just came down. like a landslide, just like
Oh.
Wow.
it was like a big waterfall.
So they were
And
really
all the burning
happy they
logs
weren't
came
standing
down,
there.
and all the work we did all day did not match up to like that 10 minutes of bombing we did.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, I got some business I gotta do on the north end. Thanks, Salt Lake, 1 Foxtrot. And thanks,
Wow.
749. And we go back in, and it's like a swamp. Like we had been fighting it all day. It was
Yeah,
dry,
trying to
dusty,
beat the
horrible.
firecrackers, trying
Just
to
And that was
running
all
around.
soaked?
We went back in, and it was literally like a bog. There were like pools of water
So that
everywhere.
much water.
All the fire was out. That big punky log on fire.
Wow.
All the trees, everything just.
Done.
That's awesome.
And then I called all my guys back in, and they just mixed and stirred. So you pull up the heat underneath and mix it with the mud, and it was just like this tranquil. It was a crazy battlefield
Yeah.
for like 20 minutes that I was in charge of. It was a blast. That day was super fun.
Proof that there are still men in the world